you are going to measure your back. So this person back is 8, and we are using this for the hand. We are using this for the hand. I'm using, okay, so our back with the hand, because we are cutting the hand, we are cutting the sleeves, we are cutting the sleeve together. So we are going to measure the hand, the place, the sleeve, you measure it to where you want it to reach. So this is it. And you first measure the back, then you measure the sleeve. If you want your sleeve to be longer than this, you will measure it, no problem. Then you are going to measure the neck depth. I'm using 3. Then for the back, we are using 1.5, and for the front, we are using 7. For the back, for the front, 1.5, we cuff it. The reason I'm measuring it together is just to give it. So this is the back, this is the front. You know that kimono, the front is always opened. Then this is it. And by this side, you are going to measure 1 inch. Measure it down. After measuring it, you are going to trace it. Mark it. You can see. So you mark it to the neck. Here. You mark it to the one. And we are going to mark the hand. We are using 12 for the hand, and for the body we are using the hip, 6 inch. So the hip is 42 plus 6, that's 48. That's 48 inches. We're using 48 inches. So you're going to divide 48 divided by 4. That is going to be the measurement you are going to use here. 48 divided by 4. And 48 divided by 4 is 12. 48 divided by 2 is what? Is 24. And 24 divided by 2 is 12. So you are going to measure 12. That's what you are using. Then you're going to add your sewing allowance. I'm using 2 as my sewing allowance because I'm still going to weave it. So that will be 14 in total. And that is what I'm going to use for the whole. We are going to join it together. You just join here, you join it here. That's all for our kimono. Then let's cut. You are going to add, there is pockets. There is pockets by the side. So we are going to cut our pockets. Sorry, we're going to use 5 by 12 or by 10. The reason why we are using this 5 is we are using 4 initially, that is 8. So plus the sewing allowance, which is 5. So let's use this. We are using 5 by 12. Initially we are using 10. It's 10 we are using, but because of the sewing allowance, we are going to sew it at the front here and we're going to sew it here. So we measure 12 by 5. Let's notch it so that we know where we notch to know where you're going to put. So this is going to be the upper part, this is going to be the down part, the side. The next one I'm going to do is we are going to measure the front of this our kimono. We are going to measure it because we are going to put band. The kimono has band, so we are going to measure it. We measure the kimono, which is 47. So we multiply 47. Let's measure the 47. After getting the measurement, then 4 inch. After we are going to measure for it. After putting it, I want it to remain 1.5 inch. So we are only sewing in half inch. So we're going to measure inches for this one. Then cut out. I know that we are we are cutting 47 two times. So this is the first one. So we are going to when you measure the 47, we are using this for the front as the band for the front. We are not going to multiply it by 4. We are going to multiply it by 47 by 2 because we are only putting this in the front, not at the back. So that means we are multiplying it by 2. 47 multiplied by 2. So that's what I use here. This is 47. You can add 1 extra inch for sewing allowance, making 48. So that's what's in there. 48 is there. I'm going to show you when I'm sewing it. Then we are going to weigh 2 for the strings on the side. 12 to 15. So we are using this for the strings at the back, by the side, because it's 4. 2 by the left side, 2 by the second side. So this is what we are using for the we are using at the spring at the as the rope by the side. So that's all for the kimono. I've already joined the sleeve, the shoulder to the sleeve. I've already joined it. I joined the side too. You're going to join the side. You're going to join this place. It's already joined. I've joined it and I joined the side. So this is it. You can see that the only opening is this place, the front. The only opening is the front, which is this place. It's only the front that is opened. So we have to put the pocket. So to put the pocket, you're going to fold your fabrics into 2. The right side into 2. Fold your fabrics into 2. Then you're going to take your tape rule and measure the shoulder to waist length with plus half inches. That's what you're going to use. So we're going to measure shoulder to waist. Shoulder to waist is 16. So you're going to measure shoulder to waist, like the place you're going to put your pocket is shoulder to waist plus 7. That means 16 plus 7, that is 23. So that means the place our pocket is going to start from is 23. That's what we're going to measure here. Your shoulder to waist plus 7. So let's do it. So I'm going to measure it. I'm going to put your tape rule by the side here and measure. I'm measuring 23. So this is 23. I use something to mark it. It's not necessary for it to be pencil. The reason I'm using pencil is because I don't want it to be too obvious. So after getting the 23, then use your ruler to mark it by this side. Use your ruler. So these are 23. And we are using 9. The wideness of our pocket is 9. So we're going to measure 9 from the side that you sew. From the side that you sew, you are going to measure 4.5 because we're going to divide the pocket. You know, I said the pocket is 9. So 9 divided by 2, because we are going to measure it from both sides. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So that means we are going to measure 4.5 here. 4.5. So 4.5, and by the side here, we are using the length of our pocket is 10 and the side is 9. So we are going to measure 5 upward, 5 upward, 5 downward, making 10. Hope you're getting me. We're going to measure 5 upward, 5 downward, making 10. So let's try to measure our 4.5 here to give So let's do the same thing. This side, you can just mark it here. So let's mark it here so that it will be easier for us to mark it by the other side. So this is it. We will just use this one to mark the other side and to mark the other side. So the way I'm doing it, as you can see, you understand. Then this one is correct. Then this one is correct. So if you mark it by the second side, we're going to mark I'm going to mark 4.5, 4.5, and 5 upward, 5 downward. Let's mark our 4.5, our 5 again. Sorry, our 4.5. So this is it. We have marked it like this. This is where we are putting our pockets. This is where we are putting our pockets. Let's mark the other side. Make sure when you want to mark it, you iron your clothes so that you won't have error when you are sewing it. So that there will not be error. Mark this side. Let's mark the second side. Five. So we are done. What we are going to do now is you are going to cut your pockets. You cut 10 by 12, 10 by 12. You can see this is 12. This is the length, and this is the breadth. This is the wideness that we measure, that we use 9 inches for by side by the kimono. When we were measuring it, I said we are using 9, but because we are still going to sew it, so that's the reason why it's 10 here and 12 here. We are using 10 for the length when we place it in the kimono. So let's iron it. Okay, this place we are going to sew 1 inch inside. This is going to be the opening. Just folding 1 inch. Fold it the way I fold it. You first fold it in, then fold it in again. That is 1 inch. Then you're going to iron it. You can see it's already pressed. Then you're going to iron 1/2 inch by the side. Just iron 1/2 inch by the side. And when you want to iron the other side, you take your tape rule and measure it to know what is going to make, because you are using 9 when we place it on the kimono. So this is 9, so we are going to fold it at this side. So let's do it like this. You can make it like this, like this. Then this place, I'm just going to fold in the remaining inches like this. Just fold in whatever is remaining. Make sure you measure it at all sides, because it's possible when you are sewing it, your hand should not be straight. You can see I'm measuring it again to be sure this is, I've already put. And this place, we're going to measure, since we are using 10 for the length, we're going to measure it and fold in the remaining inches or inch. So this is 10, this is 10. Then you're going to fold in the remaining inches or inch. You're going to fold in whatever is remaining. Let's check this place. So this is it. Let's iron the second one. So the way you fold the first one, fold it 2 times. One. The first, you're going to fold half inch first, then another half, making 1 inch. Then measure it and check what is remaining. 9. And let's finish the last one. We're going to measure 10 and fold the remaining one. Measure 10, fold the remaining one. This is what you are using. You know, I said we should measure when we were cutting. I said you're going to measure the front. We're going to measure here the front part. So we are going to sew. We are going to sew this. We are going to sew this to the front. We are going to sew all this to the front. We sew it round the neck, everything. You're going to sew it round it like this, and make sure that you iron this. I've already ironed it before. I've ironed it. So make sure you iron everything. So you can see that I've sewed the first place that I said you are going to fold 2 times, half inch, making 1 inch. I'll sew it inside. So after sewing it, we are going to pin it here. We're going to pin it. So let's do that. So as you can see, I've pinned it. I've pinned everything down. I've pinned everything down. So we're going to pin the pocket down so that it will be easier for you to sew. See, I've pinned it down. So this is the rope here, the spring, what we are going to use to draw it. If you want to sew your own, the reason why I did something like this, I'm going to sew it here. I use pin to pin it down, pin this place. I'm going to sew it here. Then I'm going to sew it in the middle and sew this place so that these two ropes will be permanent, like to not be drawn. It will just stay. We'll just stitch it here. So if you want to sew your own, when you are sewing it, make sure that these stitches, this place, you know that my own is not up to 5.5 inch. Make sure your own is 1.5 inches. If I want to use this one for this like this, I won't be able to because it's too small. So if you don't want to use this method, you don't want to, okay, sew it here, and in the middle, when you are sewing the side, make sure that the sewing allowance is 1.5 inches, so that when you want to put the rope, you just split it. Put one in, put one in, then you stitch it down. You get? So it's because my own is 1/2 inch and I won't be able to use it. That is why I'm using this method. So you can use this method. You can use the second method of the sewing allowance will be 1.5 inches. Then we split it, bring one to this side, and stitch your rope down, and the other side too. So let's sew it, and I'll show you how it's looking like. You can see that. So it's just going to give the fine look. You just need to sew this place, sew the middle and here. I sew it up now. So this is it. So if you find this